It is now time for my first whiskey of the night. I have here a Glen Deveron 20. This Glen Deveron 20 is, oh, it's hard to read. A bunch of stuff on there, but first let's get the bottle out and let's pour a dram and let it sit there for a few minutes while there's the bottle. Yeah, okay, it's bottled at 40% alcohol by volume, and that's always a good place to start, so you don't get completely wasted on your first dram or your first few drams. So I like to start with 40%, even though there are a lot of people who very much malign the 40% alcohol by volume whiskey. There's a place and time for it, and with me, that's at the very beginning of my flight. Okay. Now, what does it say about this stuff here? Okay. Royal Burgh of Banff, Charter of Robert II, King of Scotland, Glen Deveron, Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, aged 20 years, a collection of rare and aged malts selected by our master blender from the private reserve of Glen Deveron, Royal Burgh Collection. Okay. Highland single malt Scotch whiskey, aged 20 years. Our distillery lies on the rugged coast of northeast Scotland by the banks of the River Deveron. Here we craft our single malts in the traditional way, using copper pot stills, fine malted barley, and pure spring water from the region. We mature it using generous amounts of fine sherry oak casks to produce a fuller and fruitier taste. Glen Deveron Royal Burgh Collection is a selection of our rarest whiskies, hand-selected from the distillery's private reserve. It commemorates the Royal Burgh of Banff, the ancient seaport beside our distillery, granted charter by King Robert II of Scotland. Nosing and tasting notes. I will nose and taste myself, and whatever I do or don't get is what it's going to be. Okay. I don't know if there's no sign on here that says natural color or non-chill filter, or maybe on the back here, I don't know. This bold expression with a deep gold color has notes of fine toasted cereals. Okay, whatever. Oh, gold on dark red. Distilled, blended, and bottled in Scotland, hopefully to be called a Scotch whiskey. John Dewar and Sons. Okay, this is from Dewar's. Okay. Now, let's see what we got. I'm not expecting it to be too viscous. I'm already getting on my nose some sherry, dark fruits already. From this far away, I'm getting dark fruits. Oh, well, sheeting action as expected. It comes right down. Okay. Dark fruits. Dark, ripe. Oloroso, probably. It's not sweet like Pedro Jimenez. Figs, dates, raisins. Those usual suspects. Getting some black currant on the nose. Along with that, underneath it all, some vanilla maybe. A little bit of caramel, but mostly that great big sherry cask overcoat. Very fruity, dark, dried and ripe fruits. Did I say black currant? Yeah, a little bit. Not the kind of nose that I would want to dive into or stay into for a long time. It's nice, it's pleasant, it doesn't offend at all. Now, why did I go for this 20-year-old at 40% alcohol by volume? Well, I'll tell you. Over here, that's not where it is. It must be over here. That's where it is. Okay, it says here, Glen Deveron, 20 years old, Royal Bird Collection, 1,000 mils. Is it 1,000 mils? It's 1 liter. 1 whole liter. My gosh, it did seem a little large. So this is not a 700 or a 750. This is 1 liter of Glen Deveron. That's more bang for the buck. So 1 liter of 20-year-old for $119.99. That is a steal. So $119.99. That would be another $10. So $130 about. And the GST, I think there's a GST on there. 5% of 130 would be I don't know, $7, something like that. So 137, total of 137 for 20-year-old whiskey, and it's 1 liter. That's why I went for it, because it was relatively cheap. Usually a 750 ml of 20-year-old whiskey around here would cost upwards of $200. And this was from Calgary. This was from Alberta, so it was $10 for shipping, and yeah, another $7 or so for goods and services tax. So $17 on top of the 120. Yeah, 137 for 20-year-old 1 liter. Yeah, that's why I went for it. Now you know. Okay, let's get back to over here with the iMovie. And we're still recording and still nosing. That's why, 20-year-old usually, forget it. Last time I had any Glen Deveron, I had the 12-year-old, and that was almost 6 years ago. It was in December of 2016. So yeah, almost 6 years ago was the last time I had a Glen Deveron, and I remember enjoying it. Why didn't I get any more? Well, maybe it was hard to find in my area. It was available in local store for a little while, and then it wasn't available at all. I got this online, like I said, from Alberta. So let's see now. I did nose it. I've got the fruits, dark fruits, the black currants, the figs, dates, raisins. There's also a sort of like a grape juice note to it. A red wine note. Yeah. I think it's time I tasted it. As can be expected, the mouthfeel is a little bit watery, but the flavors are big and fruity. Big, fruity. Coats the mouth, even though it's not thick and viscous. Very mouth-watering. Lots of fruity flavors. Figs, dates, grape juice. It's quite sweet. Maybe there is some Jimenez in here. It says rare and aged malts selected by our master distiller from the private reserve of Glen, Deveron. Yeah, a lot of sherry casks. A lot of old sherry casks. Some of it could be older than 20 years even, because the age statement only has to state the youngest whiskey that is in here. Maybe I should have let it sit in the glass longer. Maybe. I find it quite a pleasant start, as is to begin with. And at a whole liter, it will be a starter whiskey for several flights. A whole liter. So instead of 15 drams of 50 mils, I will get 20 drams of 15 mils. No complaint there. Like I said, I got it because it was relatively cheap. A higher ABV would maybe make it more viscous and maybe carry the flavors over a little more. But, you know, it is very well rounded as is, even at 40%. It does have a lot of flavor. I'm tasting nothing but dark, ripe fruits right now. And some of them are dried fruits, but mostly dark, ripe fruits. Figs, raisins, dates, plums, black currants, that kind of thing. Just out of curiosity, what are their notes? Nosing and tasting notes. Bold expression with a deep gold color, has notes of fine roasted cereals, toasted cereals, roasted hazelnuts and exotic fruits, making it a rich, fruity malt with a refined and long, lingering finish. Okay. And there's a little map here saying that's on the Murray Firth. Well, you know what? I'm not getting a lot of the nuts and cereals. For me, the nuts and cereals seem to be coated over with the fruits. It could be that with time, the cereals and nuts will come out as it oxidizes, as the level goes down, as the whiskey reacts with the oxygen in the air. But what I'm going to do, for the sake of doing it, I'm going to add a little bit of water. That's quite a bit. But I'm going to add some water and see if the toasted cereal and nutty flavors come out. On the nose, I'm still getting those fruity, heavy fruity notes. Okay. With the addition of some water, I'm getting a lot more. I'm still getting all the fruity notes. But yeah, you could argue for toasted cereals, yes. Getting some more vanilla now, definitely with the addition of water. Hazelnuts, a hint for me. But, like I said, as the level goes down, it might become more of what you're looking for. Without a doubt, whiskey usually gets better as the level goes down. This is a nice start to my night. Nice start. Very nice start. I'm not, don't have anything bad to say about this. No buyer's remorse. It's a nice, light whiskey with bold enough flavors for something that comes at 40% alcohol by volume. I like it. Slanchula.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Food quick.
Yeah.